All right, y'all, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about trucks and just how humongous they've all gotten. And this is based on the fact that, I'm not a truck guy, right? I don't own one, but I want one. And the modern mid-sized trucks have been criticized for being overly expensive and also being as large trucks used to be. And what that means is that small trucks don't exist anymore. And we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to look in detail at whether mid-sized trucks are the size of large trucks of the past. So stay tuned. All right, so welcome back. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. Give me a positive comment and a thumbs up. And just as a little background here, this became a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be when I started thinking about doing this video. And just so you know, I'm not a truck guy. I've always wanted one. I've wanted one for 25 or 30 years, but they just never make sense for my life. I'm not a contractor. I don't need an F-150 to drive to the grocery store, right, and pick up a rotisserie chicken for dinner, right? I drive a sensible four-door, four-cylinder, mid-sized sedan that gets 30 miles to the gallon. But my wife and I both want a truck to bomb around on the weekends, pick up furniture, pick up lumber, maybe pick up some mulch or gravel, stuff like that. But the modern trucks strike me as caricatures of what a truck should look like. Like you take an 8-year-old to a semi convention, they see a Kenilworth and they come back home and they draw an F-150, right? I don't want that, and I also don't want that $50,000 to $80,000 price range. I just want a simple truck. So I'm old enough to remember when the small truck existed. And there was a bunch of them. You know, you certainly had the S10s and you had the Rangers. But then you had Mazda, had a great small truck. The Toyota truck, of course. Nissan. Mitsubishi had a really good truck called the Mighty Max. And then Isuzu offered the Pup pickup. And of course, Isuzu left the market and their truck with it. Mitsubishi, they shrunk, got into a lot of problems. They lost their truck, but they still sell a truck around the world, which is really cool, actually. Mazda switched to the Ranger platform, and then as the Ranger was canceled and the Mazda-Ford relationship kind of unraveled, Mazda lost its pickup truck, and then GM and Ford both canceled their small trucks, the S10 and the Ranger, and what you were left with was that Tacoma and the Frontier. Now, I think the Frontier is pretty good. I think it's pretty cool, actually, but Nissan hasn't updated it for 20 years. Just last year, they put a new engine and I think transmission in it in preparation for a redesign here in, I believe, 2021. But the Toyota has continued that process of never-ending improvement, and what it's done is built up a tremendous amount of brand loyalty, and they have that around the world as well. We see that everywhere. Now, I personally hate the Tacoma, right? I think it's ugly. I think it's huge. The driving position sucks. The materials are cheap. It's noisy, and it rides like a locomotive. However, I will never deny, if you want something that's reliable and durable, you get a Tacoma and then you just don't think about it for the next 25 years, right? I will never deny that. So looking at trucks, what I really want is something small, something in that realm of the Nissan hardbody or something like that. And it doesn't exist. So when they started to bring back the mid-sized trucks, the Canyon, the Colorado, and then eventually the Ranger, I got super excited, but going and looking at them, they're still really big and probably bigger than I want. So I see this comment online all the time, different websites, different reviews of the different mid-sized trucks, that the modern mid-sized truck is as large as the large trucks used to be. And I really started to think, is this true? And I wanted to look into it. And that was the inspiration for this video. So I've got my cheat sheet here where I've written down some data, and we're going to look at it. But as I continued to look at it, I dug deeper and realized something a little fantastic. So number one, we're going to start with this. I picked the F-150 just as a starting point so I can compare Ford to Ford. Also, I got these dimensions off of Google. I did not try to normalize it for regular cab versus extended cab or regular bed versus long. I didn't try to do any. I just picked numbers that were presented in Google to give us a baseline, right, to talk about. I understand there's wide variations here, but if I look at the most basic number, I can start to compare, hopefully, apples and apples. A 1990 F-150, 69.8 inches high, 194.1 inches long, and a width of 79. So I look at the 2021 Ranger because this is the question, the point of the video. 71 inches high, 211 inches long, and 78 inches wide. So the mid-sized Ranger is larger in 2 dimensions than an F-150 from 1990. So those comments online are absolutely correct. The Ranger is large. Now, that leads me to the next question. Well, okay, then when I think of the F-150, the modern one, and it looks huge to me, like a caricature of a truck, what a truck should be, how big is it? 2021 F-150, height 75 inches up to 78, length 201 up to 250 inches, and width 80. So this bad boy is 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches larger than a 1990 F-150 height, and what is that? 7 inches minimum longer before you start getting into extended cabs and long beds. And then it's a little bit wider at 1 inch. That's astounding to me. That is shocking to me how big this is. And so in the car realm, right, when you think about Toyota has the Avalon, the Camry, and the Corolla. If you've got the F-150 and the Ranger, you don't have anything down here. You don't have anything in that Focus Fiesta size. And I am sure that General Motors, Ford, and Dodge have spent tons of money doing market research to determine whether there's a market there and whether they should put their manufacturing capabilities towards it. But I've said in at least a couple of videos so far that the Ram 700 is being sold right down there in South America, right? It's based on a Fiat. It's a little bit old. It's about half a decade old now. It's not a brand new platform, but it's a beautiful car in my opinion. And I think, you know, if it meets basic safety requirements, bring it up here to America. Hey, if you've already got the capacity down there to build it, bring it to America and bypass. Chrysler finally overshoot what the rest of the market is doing. This could be your minivan moment in terms of trucks. So that led me to think, well, if I really want one of those smaller trucks, right? Old S10, old Mighty Max, whatever it happens to be, how much bigger is the Ranger than that? Okay, so I went back, I looked at a 1990 Nissan Hardbody, one of my favorite trucks of all time, a 2021 Ranger. So the Hardbody, height 62.4 inches, length 174.6, width 66.5. And again, just to recap, 2021 Ranger, 71 inches high, 211 inches long, and 78 inches wide. Consider that. The modern Ranger, the smaller truck, right, is 12 inches wider than a small truck back in 1990. And it's, what is that? 36, 35 inches longer, 3 feet longer than the Hardbody back in the day. And that led me to my last thought, which was, well, if I like the Ram so much, how does the Ram compare? 2021 Ram 700, 2-door, right, single cab, work truck basically, 63 inches high, 176 inches long, 68 inches wide. So in the Ram 700, you have almost exactly what I'm looking for when I think of those old small trucks that are super efficient and great for contractors. You're a plumber, you're a painter, you throw your crap in the back and it's super affordable. Best of all, I looked at it in pesos. This is Ram 700, it's 244,000 pesos, which is about $12,500. Okay? Hey, get a nice one, sell it here in America for $15,000, and Ram, I'm here to tell you, you will have a home run on your hands. You will have people like me who don't want a massive truck. You will have contractors. You will have everybody coming out of the woodwork. The big difference between the 700 and like the old Nissans and Toyotas, the 700 is front wheel drive, and that's the only option available. But they do have different 4 cylinders. They have 5-speed. They have automatic. You know, hey, I don't care. I'm not looking to go off-roading with my cheap truck, right? This is exactly what I'm looking for, and I can't freaking get it in America, and I'm pretty pissed about it. So the answer to the question is yes. The mid-sized trucks of today are about the size of the large trucks of 30 years ago, and that means the large trucks of today are monstrously, ginormously, humongous. And I believe that means there's a whole market in the small truck category that is being totally ignored by every manufacturer. I'm sure they've spent millions of dollars to prove it doesn't exist, but I'm here to tell them it does. And I think there's a lot of contractors out there who would agree with me. Bring a small truck to America. Let me know your comments below. I'm curious. Thanks for listening to my tirade.